Well, we call this a podcast. It's where we put Nikki in a pod and we cast her to the ISS.
You cast me aside.
No, not aside. To a safe place.
Yeah, you cast me up.
To a safe place, Nikki, so that you can be cared for.
Well, welcome to the podcast today.
Yes. Today in the podcast, we do talk about how Nikki should go to the International Space Station.
Well, we talk about two alternate places that are perhaps safer during these...
Trying times.
Neither, I think, after talking about it, do we decide we really want to go to.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
And that's the times we're in.
Let's see. What else we got? The PlayStation 5 specs revealed. Not as exciting as it sounds. The Hallmark Christmas Channel movie marathon that's coming.
That's actually really cute. When we talk about, Christmas decorations are being put back up to kind of make everybody feel better.
We talk Doom and Animal Crossing, band camp, what Netflix is doing to quarantine, and mental health, and I think that's about it.
Maybe a sprinkling of a few other things. Yeah, just a surprise.
You know what you should do? You should reach out to the RIOT today. You got something you either A, want to talk to us about, or B, you've got comments about today's show. You know what? It's funny, but I'm just trying to think about the show a little differently as, the world is changing a bit temporarily. We'll get back to where we were.
We have to have a little of what we need to learn and remember, but then we also need a little distraction as well.
Yeah, and so we're trying to kind of find that balance, but if you got something that's worth including in the show, we would absolutely love to hear from you.
Send the distraction stuff.
Yeah, please do.
You're welcome to text us. Just send us a link. You text 877 to RadioU. Just text that, and then make sure you put your name and where you're from and that you're a podcast listener, and you can send us anything you want.
All right, so you guys have a wonderful day.
Yes.
And we're not just saying that.
Nope. We'd say that any day, but especially today because it's Thursday for us. But boy, it feels like it has been a long week.
Longest week of my life, dude.
I don't see the weekend being any different, so.
And I'll tell you what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm serious. I'm hiding out.
Yeah, just
and
lay
I know
low.
we're kind of supposed to be doing that anyway, but that has not been something that Nikki and I have been able to do. I've actually done more this week. And so I am looking forward to, even if I could get 24 hours to just sit and try to process a little bit. I would be up for that.
It's weird because, we normally don't do too much. I mean, I'm not a party person. I'm not out and about every weekend. But just the fact that you can't do anything sometimes makes you only be able to focus on what you normally wouldn't have done, but now you suddenly feel like doing. You feel like going out or you want to go eat at a restaurant, and we're not able to in our area. So this weekend will just be a break for everybody.
Well, and I feel like that, what you're talking about is basically, that's part of the mental stress of it. You know what I mean? Normally all these things that you wouldn't give any thought to, you're really thinking about, and you're
hopping out and going to a movie, and now they're like, you can't go to a movie.
No movie for you.
You're like, okay, but I just really wanted to go to a movie.
That's fine. I didn't even want to.
It's I'm sorry.
Well, hey, you guys enjoy the podcast.
Yeah,
reach
please
out,
enjoy it.
say what's up to us, and you know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be praying for you this week. I've seen a couple of you that have kind of reached out, and we talk about mental health in the podcast here, but it's I know it's for some of you, it's an even greater struggle, and I'm praying for you this week. So keep at it. You can do this. We will make it through. And you know what? Take the steps that you need to take to stay on top of life. Okay? Do that for yourself. Have a great day. Bye.
The RIOT Podcast. RadioU.
America Under Siege. Day 4.
Well, yeah, we're almost to Friday, so It's your Thursday edition of it.
And this will probably all be wrapped up next week, so.
I don't even know what to feel like. Maybe it will be not as bad, but I'm just not sure.
It's been one of the things that has been interesting to me is that we've gotten into the week a little bit. So I now this morning have reached the point where there are a couple of podcasts that I listen to, and their new podcasts are out this week.
They're now into the cycle with it.
Right. So they are now addressing kind of what's going on with them. And they're in San Francisco and New York City.
Yeah.
And they are experiencing a very different life than we are right now. With New York City, San Francisco is the whole shelter-in-place thing. So you're basically not allowed to leave. But the New York City is not there. So they were talking about going into the city that, is normally crowded and he said it's not deserted, but it feels deserted.
Well, when you normally step out and it's just full of tourists and stuff and people who live there, and that's gone.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? So, but you know what? The thing that I come back to for me is that my life doesn't feel that different. But that's because Nikki and I move at strange times of the day.
We do. There's normally not a lot of people out anyways.
Yeah, like we're up very early and then we're back. You know, we don't see rush hour. And so I guess the only thing that I've really seen is kind of empty parking lots. And I haven't had to force myself to try to go to the movies because it's closed.
Don't have that. You don't eat in or you don't eat in the restaurants.
Right.
And I feel like I'm now starting to experience less work from the outside world because people are not doing the same amount of work when they're from at home. So I feel like the communication has been less with people where normally there'd be a lot this week. That's slowing down, which is expected.
It is expected. It's interesting, though. Like for me, like I'm actually busier now than I was before. There's just more going on. But that's like that work from home kind of stuff where a lot of ramping up to whatever our new normal will be for a while. But you know what?
It's Thursday at least.
The riot is still here, baby.
We're here. So good morning. You can text us if you'd like. Say hello. Let us know what your plans insider for the day. 877-2-RADIO-U. Or if you want to join us, make sure you're following us on our Facebook pages. We've got the show on, which is RadioU Riot. And then, of course, the RadioU Facebook page works as well.
Here we are.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Now, I promised you some maybe good news,
maybe bad news.
Christmas is canceled. No, that's not it. Actually, Christmas has been rescheduled for now.
Did you see what people are doing?
I did. Well, actually, so this could go two ways. You do yours, I'll do mine. What did you see?
People are putting their Christmas decorations up again outside.
Because they say it's cheerful.
Yeah, and I guess even inside would work too.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
It is. So there's that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
There's a second layer to an onion.
Yeah. Starting tomorrow at noon Eastern, the Hallmark Channel is running a Christmas movie marathon.
Congratulations to whoever at Hallmark thought that one up, because that's a fantastic idea. Whether you like their movies or not, people do enjoy their Christmas movies. They need a little something extra right now. That's a great programming idea.
Well, that's what they say they're doing. They're just like, you know what? You guys, we're doing something fun this weekend. So starting tomorrow at noon, there will be 27 Hallmark movies that will run in a row.
All weekend long.
All Christmas movies. And it will wrap up Sunday night with the movie Christmas in Rome.
So you have time, if you could get some of your Christmas stuff up today, and if you're into that, you could be all ready for tomorrow.
I don't think I could be into that.
I thought I was going to. I even signed up for, what was it, Friendly, which was it's an app that does the Hallmark Channel. And I was so into it for like a day. And then the more Hallmark movies you watch like in a row, you really see the formula in it. And I just got really tired of it.
You are better off really spacing those out.
Yeah.
Which is why it's been years since I've seen one, because I'm just waiting for the magic moment to go back.
Just don't watch them one after another. You got to space yourself, give yourself a break, and then go back and watch one.
She ain't lying, man. So give yourself some space. But you know what? I don't know. Whether you're stuck inside or not, like if you find these to be comfort food, I mean, to me, I expect all women to like them, which is not true. I am amazed by some of the men that I run into that are fans.
Yeah.
Like the guy who, well, let's just say I have a person in my life. He is certainly older than I am, but he's like this rugged, manly man type, and he loves Hallmark movies. And I'm just like, what? Really?
If not, it's something to have on in the background, just some noise, which is nice when you're stuck at home.
You need something.
Sometimes. When I lived alone, I always, you always leave something on.
Yeah.
Just to make there be some voices around.
I hear you.
So that'll start tomorrow. But yes, people are putting up Christmas decorations as well. Arthur texted in. He said he hopes his HOA doesn't get mad. I'm sure they'd be fine, but there are usually rules about when Christmas decorations can go up.
Man, I don't think I've ever even thought about that.
But man, if they went after you during this time, that'd be bad.
Man, if they come after you, just say they're not Christmas decorations. They're COVID-19 decorations.
Jacob texted. He said, I already have everyone beat. My Christmas tree's still up, mainly because I'm just lazy.
Shut
so, Jacob,
up.
look at that. It really worked out well for you.
What is this guy doing? Man, I'm sure glad I didn't take it down.
I know, right? So now you can turn everything on this weekend. And especially, I loved the outside Christmas light idea because that would be nice for everybody to see in the neighborhood.
I want everybody to do that but me. Like, I don't want to put the work in, but you guys make it happen.
I want to go out and see them, but I just don't want to do it myself.
Yeah.
So if there's someone who is quarantined at home and you have the time, then that's an option.
Great.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the Riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
All right, so Jerome texting again this morning. He says, hey, did you know that Disney says they'll lose $20 million each day their parks are closed?
That much money?
Yeah.
Aw, man.
Now, my comment back to him was that's like losing a penny from your car every day.
Yeah, that is true.
But he's doing the math. He says that's $280 million over 2 weeks. And I want to know why he cares so much.
Why is that so bothersome?
Bothers me that he's bothered.
Well, people call for Disney to close. I mean, that's, you got a lot of people traveling from different places.
Sure.
They're all close and they're all angry and they're all in one tiny little space.
All right. I want to say hi to Brianna. She hit us up on Facebook. She says, hey, Obadiah, do you remember a little while ago when you didn't want to get rid of your socks with holes, but you didn't know what to do with them?
Yes, we remember that.
Now you do. # toilet paper shortage.
It's not. Will it ever get that bad? Hopefully not.
Don't flush them.
There's still a shortage. I went to when I went to Costco. They do a big bulletin board out front now.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, it was like, no this, no that, no, 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 no. And they just put it all right there in the front.
Yeah, which is, I almost stopped to look, and then I was like, I don't want to make it seem like that's what I'm here for.
Well, you're surprised.
It would be embarrassing if I was here for the things they were out of.
But they put food items, too, because a lot of food stuff's still gone.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say hi to Andy. Andy says, Nikki, I am listening to the podcast from March 17th. Mm-hmm. That heel strap on the Crocs can be flipped forward so you can just slide your feet right in them.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Andy. You don't have to worry about that part.
No, he's trying to help you.
No, it doesn't.
He thinks you're worried.
They're closed. I can't. The store's all closed, remember?
You know, Nikki, they'll probably accept free returns online.
If I just order it.
So we could just order some. And maybe that's what we should do. We'll order 3 different sizes. Mm-hmm. We'll let you try them on, and then we'll ship back the ones that don't fit.
What was his name?
Andy.
Andy, thank you for thinking of me with that.
Nikki, a lot of people have you on their mind.
Well, it's...
People are just out there thinking about your feet.
Oh, no, I don't want that. Don't say it that way.
Thinking about your feet. When people imagine your feet, Nikki...
Don't say any more.
Like, what size do you think they imagine?
All right, I'll be honest. I have a wide foot, so it's not like my foot's big. It's just wide.
Yeah.
So I usually wear a 10. That's my size.
Deep and wide, deep and wide. Nikki's shoes will need to be deep and wide.
It's a small wide, and it's a small wide, and I don't like my feet feeling confined, so I make sure it's a spacious size, so that's why it's fine.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? Everybody, just a heads up, if you see some Crocs, make sure you take pictures and tell Nikki where she can get some in these trying times.
Can we not do that? Well, no, they're not supposed to be out, so you can't. Unless you send me screenshots, no one should be.
That's fine, too. Andy, I believe, sent us pictures of his Crocs, which appeared to be forest-themed. They have
like camo?
Tree, yeah, kind of.
Kind of camo-ish?
Yeah. It looks like if you were a hunter, you would probably wear these. I see Andy wearing these Crocs and probably has a Cabela's hat.
Probably.
That's what I'm feeling.
Well, don't forget, again, you can text 877-2-RADIO-U, and as we've shown you, you can literally send us anything. Or if you message us, just do that through Radio U Riot on Facebook.
Uncomfortable silences during that morning carpool? Not a problem. These two never shut up. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki and I are not exactly working from home. I mean, we're here right now. There are contingency plans that we could continue to work from home. Most of the podcasts and even some of the radio people I've listened to,
They've all moved to home.
Yeah, some of them, like, they have family members that have the coronavirus, so they're doing their stuff from home because they're quarantined. So there's that. But Nick, you're doing some work from home.
Yeah.
And that means
we already did that before this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we were already set up with that.
Look at how amazing we are. Have you thought about what this means? Okay, a lot of people are doing what you're doing, Nikki, and the dogs of Instagram are really having a renaissance.
My dogs are like literally all the time. Like, why are you like? They appreciate everybody being home, but then usually during the daytime, that's their nap time.
That's their time.
Yeah, because pets, animals sleep a lot more than we do. So we're
Which
interrupting.
is a shame.
We're interrupting their normal schedule, and my dogs have been sleepier at night because we've been keeping them up during the daytime.
Oh,
It's tough life, isn't it?
it's really hard on them.
It is.
Having people around.
Yeah, interrupting the naps, right? Just
So
like they interrupt
rough.
when I want to sleep at night. So now they know.
Well, maybe they're not doing it as much. Maybe that's the problem. If by keeping them up during the day, they're sleeping through the night.
They're doing better.
They need to take fewer naps.
But it is cute to have them around more. I sometimes will bring my dog Cinnamon, and Eric will sometimes bring Sugar into work later. So they do sometimes come into work, and now they can't. We just go back home.
Have you ever looked at the carpet underneath that desk?
This one?
Yeah. You ever really looked at it?
Well, it never gets vacuumed, I see.
You notice that it's covered in pet hair.
Well, that's not mine. My dog's never been in here.
I'm not saying that it is.
Where is it coming from?
It's probably coming from your clothes.
Yeah, probably.
Hudson's clothes.
Sydney
Sydney's
has,
clothes.
yeah, she has a dog
and
too.
Everybody's always like, I touched this thing. My
Where's the
clothes are
allergy?
clean. I don't, whatever. Just look down there and know that you bring your disease with you.
I see a lot of food, too, down there. I see a lot of food particles.
Know about that.
That also could be coming off of our clothes. So
Also possible.
who knows?
Who knows?
And these times of cleanliness, we've missed a spot. So a very big patch of carpet underneath where our feet are is never vacuumed.
So another thing for you to look at, Nikki, at Dogs Working From Home.
Is it an Instagram?
It's an Instagram account that just features photos of dogs. Let's not say interfering. Let's say helping
The situation?
while you're working from home.
Oh, it's so cute.
So it's loaded with things that I think you're really going to like. And I think it's time for Cinnamon and Sugar to up their game.
Yeah, to just really bring home their Instagram game.
Yeah, we need to see them doing a little more.
Oh, they're so cute. Just the dog sleeping on everybody as everybody's on their laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, adorable.
So just something for you to think about if you're looking for a theme over the next few days.
I'm sure I could use that hashtag.
Absolutely. Setting up all the dogs at the table like they're having a meeting. Mm-hmm. What about this? What do you get Eric in the other room and you have Cinnamon on one video chat and then you got Sugar on the other and you're taking photos of them video chatting with each other?
I can do that. I've seen a lot
Hashtag social distancing.
For a lot of people who use like Zoom for meetings. I see a lot of TikToks and just viral videos of everybody bringing their dogs on it. So yeah, you could do that too.
Something to think about.
Cute, adorable.
So there's that'll keep you busy before you start watching Emma.
And even if you don't have pets, everybody still likes to look at pictures of pets.
Yeah, it's
of
funny.
other people's pets if you don't have it.
Well, you got to keep them at a distance.
So that's Dogs Working From Home, and that's an Instagram account.
And your Instagram account for your dogs is?
Oh, Cinnamon Sugar Pup Tarts.
On Instagram. Mm-hmm. Some of the cutest babies you ever see.
They're not puppies anymore, though. Like, I feel like it was my A game was when they were really little. And I remember to post, I try to post a few times a week, but they're bigger now.
I told you what to do.
What? Oh, get rid of them and get new puppies?
Yeah.
No, I can't do that.
You can. It's easy.
No, they're
you just drop them off in between the glass.
No! What is wrong with you? You stop it. You're the worst.
I know. I just know that because that's what they say not to do.
I know.
So I encourage others to do it.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You guys know I have been a fairly outspoken proponent of the PlayStation 5. It's something I'm interested in for a lot of different reasons. And yesterday, they had not really a press conference, but just kind of a live event where they went through and they discussed all these different things about what the PlayStation 5 is going to be. And I was seriously underwhelmed by it. It's like I want to be fair about it.
Sure.
In a lot of ways, they didn't come out with any information that the Xbox did not come out with. So they came out with things. They don't
want to share too much.
Well, they came out and they're like, we can do 10.5 teraflops. And you're like, oh, yeah.
Finally.
Man.
Well, do you feel like, okay, here's like it's a two-parter, all right?
Okay.
Would you have been more whelmed if Xbox hadn't come out with their stuff first? And do you feel like it's just a case of, again, there's only so much you can do, or nothing else that they're going to tell you so far in advance?
Here's what I think. One, the numbers that they are sharing are numbers that are very hard for the average people, including myself, who's something of a techie, to really get anything out of. Like they shared the core processor speeds and different things like that. It's actually the kind of stuff that for the Xbox they shared a while ago. What they didn't show that I feel like they should have was this is what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And this is what the controller looks like.
That's what gets people excited to go and buy it ahead of time.
Because in my mind, a lot of what they're sharing, so like the Xbox does, and I could be getting these numbers wrong, so like, I don't know if you care, but like the Xbox is like, hey, we've got like 12 bajillion zillion teraflops, and the PlayStation number is like 10.5. But then they're like, yeah, but we're building a proprietary hard drive that does this. And so, I mean, there's more to it than simply comparing numbers for numbers. It's not like an apples to apples comparison.
Why do they hold back on showing what it looks like, though? Is it fears of like, they don't know yet?
Maybe they haven't finalized the design yet.
Because they're not afraid someone's going to go steal the design, and then that's the new look for everything, are they?
No, I don't think so, because, Xbox is their primary competitor. They're out there. Xbox, the other thing they did was they showed off the controller, which looks the same, but, they talked a lot about what are things they've added to it, et cetera, et cetera. Both the Xbox Series X, which is the new Xbox, and the PlayStation 5, something they've been out there saying is like, hey, these are significantly more powerful than the last consoles were. And part of that is because when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One came out, they were actually way kind of underpowered.
Yeah.
They went cheap on them last time around. And so what has happened is this time it seems like they're not going cheap. So you've got a much larger jump in regards to what they'll be able to do. So I just wasn't. The other thing that came out of this that I was very kind of disappointed is the online rumor for a long time has been, hey, the PlayStation 5 is going to play all PlayStation games. So if you're PlayStation 1, your 2, your 3, and 4, it'll play all of those games. It's always been rumor, but it's something that I was really hopeful for. And they came out yesterday and they're like, this will play most PlayStation 4 games.
Ooh, that's not what you wanted to hear.
You're like,
wait a minute. Why are you saying most?
Most?
It's your games that won't play.
Most of them? So they said that it's a lot trickier than you think.
Yeah.
And that they'll have most of the top 100 games playable at launch. So in reality, most of the popular stuff, it'll probably play that. But it was still like, I wanted them to come out and be like, listen, do you have it? We'll play it.
And it's
got this? We'll play it.
Doesn't look like it'll at least at first be that way.
Yeah. So, also yesterday we found out the Xbox, it's launching Thanksgiving of this year. No date yet on the PlayStation 5 and no prices on anything.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
I'll tell you, yesterday I got in my car and one of the things I was thinking is I had a bunch of different things to do, and I don't know if I think everybody else is feeling this, but I just feel a lot of pressure. I wake up and I'm just like, man, I wonder what happened overnight.
Yeah.
It's like I'm grabbing my phone to see what crazy thing has happened in the last 7 hours while I've been sleeping.
Well, a lot of people are afraid. Can you get your work done? Can you do your classes? Do you have a job? Can you get food? Can you get toilet paper still? There's always something you're worrying about.
I mean, and Nikki, I hope you won't take this the wrong way, but I was like, is Nikki sick? Is everything okay? I'm just grabbing
you're just making sure everybody around you is fine.
Grabbing my phone, just thinking anything could happen at any moment. And every time I grab my phone, I'm feeling that way. And so, I mean, after a while, that stress wears on you. And we've only been at this for a little while. It's not like...
It feels like forever, but it's only been a little while.
I feel like time has slowed down and, any moment, anything can happen. It's crazy. So yesterday morning when I started my day, I got in my car and started it, and I put it in reverse. I'm backing out, and I just put it in park, and I was like, all right, look. And I started talking to God. I was like, all right, God, here's the stuff that's going on. Like, I'm tired. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Like, it's one of those things like, do I feel scared? No. But like, I know on some level I'm unnerved, and so I just started talking to God about it. And I said, I need you to help me with today. And yesterday I did things way differently than I had planned. I ended up moving some plans around. I ended up doing some things a little differently. And I can tell you this, at the end of the day, it was better. And I don't mean that I'm not jumping up and down. I feel better necessarily about a lot of different things, but I really felt throughout my day like I could tell God was helping me. And there were times when I made some decisions differently, and I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I knew that God was there with me, helping me do things. And I did things differently than I would have. At least I'm pretty sure I did if I hadn't checked in with him at the beginning of the day and asked him for that. And so I'm telling you this because I am convinced that in the way God helped me, he can help you too. It's not just for me. Jesus actually wants to be a part of your day today. Whether it is that you've just got another day that you're going to have to stay home today, or if it's a day that you have to get out there and make some things happen, I truly believe that God he's there with you, but he wants to get actively involved in your day. So why don't you start your day that way? I definitely did again today. I was like, man, yesterday was better because God was in it. I'm doing this again today. And so I just literally reached out my hand and I was like, Jesus, take me by the hand and show me what to do today. Like, control my schedule. Give me wisdom on how to get through this. And check in with him throughout the day. And if you don't have a friendship with God, listen, it's not a problem. You don't need to check your bank balance, grab your credit card, do your Apple Pay. I want you to know that you can start a relationship with God and everything's taken care of. It's free. Just say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I'm scared. I'm angry. I'm this, whatever. You fill in your own blanks. And I want you to come in and help me. Show me how to do today. And you know what? He will. And whatever is on your mind today, do you need, do you need money for this? Like, whatever it is, you talk to God, tell him what's going on, ask him for help.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Dude, okay. So there's this company that they will take you on a dive into the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
It's the deepest place on Earth that we know of, I believe. 35,000 feet. You go into a vehicle, it's a sub, called the Limiting Factor, and it will take you into the Challenger Deep Trench, which is, that's it. Like, that's where you're going. You going down, like way down to the bottom kind of a thing. So here's my question in looking at it. Do you think it's scarier to go on the Mariana Trench dive to the Challenger Deep or to go into space? Which one do you think is scarier?
Ooh, that one is... Well, I feel like space might still scare me more.
Really?
Because you can't... There you can come up, and I might be more afraid for what immediately might happen down in the water. Whereas in space, it's just an overarching, like, just fear of the entire time.
Yeah.
That'll never go away.
The thing about space would be like, let's say somebody sneezes and they knock the pen, which puts a tiny little hole in the thing.
And you're done.
You could put tape on that. And, like, maybe you make it, whatever. At the depth that this thing is going to take you, if anything in that submarine breaks, you are dead.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, you won't even know that it happened. That's how much pressure is down there. Like, you're just sitting there, and the next thing you know, you're in heaven like, this doesn't look like the bottom of the ocean.
What happened? Maybe we can then say we don't want to do both. How about that?
Neither.
I don't want to go to space, and I don't want to go to the bottom of the ocean. I like the in-between.
Well,
and not that in-between. I like this in-between where we're right here.
In fairness, it seems like we were built for this space.
I know. Not the other. Not one of, not going up either.
This seems to be the place where we can go.
And I don't want to go on that because how much money are they charging you for that one?
That would be about $750,000.
No, thank you.
Well, it does give you an experience unlike any than many people have had. Though, again, you'll be able to say you've been there, but like at that depth, the window that you can look out is...
Would it be all just pitch black anyways?
Like, if take a ring off your finger and look through it. That's the view you're going to have of the ocean floor right there. That's it.
We're going to talk you out of that $750,000 right away.
Yeah.
I'd rather do something for less money closer to the surface.
You sound poor.
But not a cruise. Not a cruise, not that.
Well, this is
it sounds poor?
Yeah.
I'd rather buy some sort of beach house and just stay there.
Nikki, stuff like this is for people that have done all of that. You're still on the side of, if I had enough money, I'd have a candy bar. This is somebody that owns a warehouse of candy bars, and they're so bored of candy they can't stand it.
I know, they're the ones that have been selling you candy bars forever.
They're just out there like, man, what I could really go for is some kale. You know what I'm saying?
They're so bored that they have to explore.
They have to come up with something else. And so they're like, yeah, I'll get in this little coffin and go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Sure.
What you need to do is get into the schooling side of it and become like an intern where you go down and you don't have to pay the price.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That also sounds poor. You can't afford the ticket, so you're working at the shop.
But you're still going down if you have to.
Yeah. No, Nikki, what you and I need to do is...
I want a normal vacation. I don't want that.
Actually, that's where I'm at. Like, I would be glad... Like, you guys go ahead and take the boat. I'll be on the shore.
Yeah.
Just laying here under this umbrella.
That's all I want to be like, well, do I want to stay in the hotel room today and sleep, or do I want to go sleep by the pool? Like, which one do you want?
Yeah. I figured about a month of sleeping, and I should be ready for...
Oh, does that sound nice? And not sleeping at home because you're stuck at home. Like, just when everything goes back to normal, then you have a normal vacation.
Yeah. I'm thinking hammock.
Oh, that does sound nice.
Doesn't that sound nice? There's a breeze.
Just a gentle sway.
Oh, it's so gentle.
Not hot, but just perfect temperature. Just a slight warm.
Just gentle.
Just right. Your favorite soda. Refreshed every few minutes.
You lean over, take a little sip, and then...
Sleep if you want.
Yep. Got to sleep that soda off.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I see here that, I mean, I don't know if this is an official, like, yes, it's true kind of thing, but from what I'm reading... If you pre-ordered Animal Crossing or Doom,
which is tomorrow,
from GameStop, you can kind of just go pick it up today.
You think so?
That's what I'm hearing.
Don't tell people that, because then if you do, you're going to be the one where that store's not doing it.
Well, that totally could be, but from what I'm reading, that's probably...
They're just letting it out?
Yeah, because they say that in order to stick with not social media, like government social distancing,
yeah.
That they can't have the store packed with people picking up their stuff. You know what?
I feel like that's a bold statement. I don't know how many people ordered it from GameStop, but that's fine.
You know what? You're missing the point.
I think the point is they want you to come in and try to buy it today, or is it just if you pre-ordered?
It's only if you pre-ordered it. So you can't go in and buy it today.
Yeah.
But if you pre-ordered, then you could go pick it up.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, again, depending on what your work life looks like right now.
You got some time, so maybe you can go and get it.
Maybe you do, or maybe you don't.
One of our listeners sent a picture. She got the Animal Crossing Switch earlier this week, and it looks so good. And I like Animal Crossing, but I'm not like a fan, but even that looks fun.
Well, okay, this is, I was kind of hoping, sometimes when you pre-order from... Let's say like Best Buy and Amazon, sometimes things show up a little bit early.
Yeah.
But this right here says arriving tomorrow.
So you still have to wait.
Checking my pre-order, yeah. But I pre-ordered from Best Buy because then I get a reward certificate, which I'm then going to use towards something else.
Sure.
et cetera, et cetera.
It'll be here. Tomorrow's fine.
It's fine. I mean, who has time for all this lollygagging and whatever anyway?
So again, if you pre-ordered from GameStop, Doom, or Animal Crossing, they say that maybe you can go pick it up today. But if not, you'll look like the loser who didn't get the date right, and they're going to look down at you and wonder why you came in, and you're going to have to come in the following day.
Here's how I play that. All right, you walk in. You're not there to pick up a pre-order. You're there to look around.
That's a good call.
You're there to look around. You're there to see what's on clearance today. Like, what else do you have for PlayStation 4?
Like, oh, yeah, wait a minute. While I'm here, I did pre-order. Is that available today, or I can come back tomorrow?
Yeah, like I heard some guy on the radio. Like, are those pre-orders available? Oh, yeah, no, I'll go
great,
and take
I'll
mine.
grab it now.
Yeah, or just be like, oh, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Just practice your stuff before you go in the store and just write a little script out.
Those idiots on the radio. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. I mean, seriously.
Listen, it's not us, okay? When you go, each store's different. And it's hard when you don't go to the fun store.
I'm just telling you, like, that's how you deflect the blame. Like, oh, yeah, no. All right, well, hey, man, good hangs. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow then, no problem.
I'd fist bump, but social distancing, right?
Well, if anyone tries to go get theirs today, if you meet all those qualifiers, then text us and let us know if you got it.
Hey, you feel free to let us in on the secret, you know?
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I don't know how you buy your music, or even if you do. I'm not much of a music buyer, except for, I guess it has more to do with indie bands. Like, there's a couple of people whose music I buy, like Crumb, formerly known as Play-Doh. He's someone that I love his music, and I like him personally. And so when he makes music, I don't want to just stream it. I want to financially support him.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to get money for the stuff that he makes. And so I go buy his stuff, and I typically don't buy it from kind of like major retailers. I almost always go to Bandcamp and buy it.
Well, if you usually buy it from him, or sometimes they'll do the pay what you want, and then you can pay a little extra because you're getting the music, but you're also really just trying to support them at that time.
Yeah. And so in that case, I do. But this is just a heads up that if you're somebody like me who, when it comes to an artist that you support and you buy their stuff on Bandcamp, they're having on Bandcamp this Friday, they're doing a thing where it's like they're not completely waiving their fees, but they're going to be way, way lower.
Oh, so the band gets more?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So if you're looking for a way to support an artist that you love in the middle of all that's going on, like, this is a way that you can do that. And I don't have the exact percentages, but Bandcamp offers some of the lowest percentages out there anyway. And then they're going to be even lower this Friday. So that way, if you want to support an artist,
might be a good way to do it.
An easier way.
So that's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's going to be a one-day thing. So Friday, yeah, okay. It's not that it's starting tomorrow. It's just tomorrow. But it gives you a kind of a one day where you can go and throw some money at some of your favorite artists. I mean, maybe not everybody thinks that way. I just know that for us on RadioU, we play a lot of artists that are indie artists. You know, doing music is like their second job. You know, they're trying to support themselves while they're trying to make that work. And so you might maybe look into an artist that you love, and whether it's this or some other way, you can find a way that you could reach out and support them as well, because a lot of their shows are being canceled.
Mm-hmm. It's a really tough time.
They make money from touring and selling merch. So, you know, they're just one more group that's being hit in the middle of this that you could think about.
Yeah, I know one of our bands, they were about ready to go on tour, but then they got canceled. So they were still selling their merch and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you go at least find your favorite bands, connect with them at least online to see if there's ways that you can help them, if you can still buy the project again or buy merch, or it's going to get to the point where you can just like cash them or something. Like you can just send them money to help them.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like, I think I'm going to look somebody up and support them a little bit.
Maybe even rebuy. You got to buy it again. Give it away.
There's got to be something in that back
I think
catalog
you can
I don't
do
have
something.
yet, right?
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
So our boss just stopped in, and in our state, where our studios are located, yesterday, the governor said that all businesses should start taking the temperatures of employees when they come in the door.
Which I guess is not too much of a shock, but who's supposed to do that?
And what kind of thermometer do we have?
Well, I think it's supposed to be one of... Well, Eric has the one...
I don't think those work for that.
It doesn't?
Eric and I
the
both
laser
have
things?
these laser thermometers.
Yeah.
They're so awesome.
Well, other thermometers are not for sale in the area because I think they... Part of the things that people have
Nikki,
taken.
There's one kind of thermometer that's always on the shelf.
But we're not doing that.
Always on the shelf.
Can we just do the hand to the forehead, or are you not supposed to touch each other?
That's the opposite of social distancing.
Well, what do they expect? We don't have thermometers.
Nikki, wait, hold still. I want to put my cheek on your forehead. That's
Not
how I know.
cheek.
That's how I know.
No, it's your hand, back of your hand.
Come here.
Then,
Let mommy feel you.
let's see how you are. And I don't want to take my temperature now. This room's hot today.
I've been drinking coffee. They're like, you have a temperature of 106.
Like, our body temperature is way up after we do this show compared to if they took our temperature when we got in the morning.
The governor also said we should take our temperature as soon as we get out of bed.
In the morning, too?
Yeah.
And then when we get to work?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I also don't have a thermometer at
And
all.
then every time you go to the bathroom.
No,
And then at night.
No.
When you get out of the car.
Well, tell me the truth.
When you get into the house.
Now I can't. Now you're giving false information.
Are you calling me fake news?
I don't
Is that what
know.
you're doing? Are you calling me fake news?
When am I supposed to take
You're
my temp-
fake news! I'm calling Snopes and the Babylon Bee.
I'm going to disinfect you if you don't stop it.
I wish you would. I think they're...
Now that's it, guys. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
So where are we leaving this at? Are we not doing temperatures, or what are we supposed to do? It's supposed to be to your best of your ability.
And we're not very good at things.
I know we're not. Like, is there an app that can take our temperature?
What I love is
Can we use
everybody's
the
like...
flashlight?
I love how we're just not used to things...
Serious things?
Not being available.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we need a thermometer. Well, I'll just get it on Amazon. What do you mean they don't have any?
I don't know what else to do. We do not have one here. Well, we have a first aid kit. Maybe there's one in there.
All I can find are meat thermometers. Hold still, Nikki. It's going in your arm. Ow! I know it hurts. Shut up. We have to do this. The governor said that we have to do this.
Does the laser thing not work at all, or is it close enough?
Eric and I really do have these infrared thermometers, but you have to wonder, I don't think it's like tested for human stuff, but there are these laser thermometers for your head.
That's what you're supposed to use. That's what we've been seeing.
All right, let me see here. I'm sure this isn't price gouging, that this one's only $100.
Is it normally that much, or is it normally like $5? Wow,
Well,
that would be.
Those thermometers that Eric and I bought were
$20, I thought.
$25, I think. They were normally more than that, but they were on sale.
Sure. Well, we don't have anything else. So that's either the best we do, or we do the hand thing.
I'm doing the cheek thing. Come here.
It's not the cheek thing.
I am. I want to put my cheek on your forehead. And I just want to see.
Let's bring our moms in and just make them do that. It's like, here, do you have a fever?
No, my mom's immunocompromised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can't come in.
I'm talking to her through the glass and on the phone. Hey, Mom!
Do you have a thermometer?
Well, I told her. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. She's like, my stepdad can get the groceries. I'm like, no, he's not supposed to leave either.
Sure.
If you need groceries, I buy them. I leave them on the porch. You wait 5 days for them to decontaminate, and then you bring them in.
That's what you're supposed to do, or you just order
like
them.
That.
Did your parents not know how to order stuff?
No.
Why don't you just order it for them and have it delivered to their house?
Well, I can, but they don't need anything yet.
Okay, well, when it's ready.
Yeah. How about
you
this?
Start the order now because it's going to take a while to...
I have this meat thermometer at home, the Thermo Pro, and you tell it, do you want it to be chicken or cow or pork?
You put me as fish. Do you understand me? A small fish. I am not that. We are not using the cow setting. Oh, you stop it.
Well, according to this, you're fine. Don't worry about it. In fact, it says you're under.
I don't know how much longer we can come in with all the stuff. I don't know. Oh, boy. It's fine.
Well, we're having fun now.
Yeah, it's just fine.
The thing is, though, do you know, even with those shelter-in-place orders, we can get an FCC letter that says we can still come in here.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a report here that tells me that there is a location that is the safest place that you can be in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak. It is the safest place.
Wasn't that your home, or do you mean...
No, Nikki, even safer than your home.
Where should we go?
The International Space Station.
You're not getting me into space even for this. We're not going to space.
If I put you on the ISS, I can guarantee
that I'll be
that
safe.
You're not going to get the coronavirus.
Since I would volunteer my spot for someone else who needed to be safer than me. Why don't you go? We can't lose you.
Oh, I'm in.
You go on up.
I'll do the show from space every day.
Wouldn't someone have to be quarantined long enough to make sure that they didn't have it to then go up in space?
I'd probably have to be quarantined for 2 weeks, which I'm headed in that direction anyway. So then I'll end up on the space station. Sweet.
Some people feel probably like being stuck in their home.
Yeah.
It's a lot like how that is.
Well, you know what? It's fine, though. Like, man, the view is incredible.
Is it?
I'm sure it is.
No thing. I do have to laugh. I've been seeing a lot of people who've been doing like self, quarantine at home and stuff. Yeah. And so you'll see them posting, and then like 20 posts later, it's like they're outside running errands and stuff. And then they're like, well, wait, I thought that wasn't... I don't think you understand what that's supposed to mean. So I don't know.
The one thing I'm curious about, like right now in our state, they're like, yeah, you can, there isn't any kind of a quarantine order. They want you to self-quarantine if you have come into contact with somebody who's had the virus, et cetera,
and they're saying if you don't do it, then they'll force something. Right. So if everyone could really actually follow it to the best of your ability. Some people are still working and still have to go out.
Yeah, I mean, like here we are.
Or you're still at work. But for everybody else, if you don't need to go out, they don't want you to go out.
They don't want you to. So I can't remember what I was going to say.
I'm not going to space. If that's all this was about, to try to get me to trick me to go up there.
Nikki, they're waiting.
We need Space Force people down here to help us.
Space Force is going to force you into space.
They're not allowed to.
Nikki, don't you understand that you're a treasure?
No, I don't want to be saved.
She's a treasure, guys.
I don't want to be saved
What do you
if it
do
means
with,
I go
what
there.
What do you do with treasures? You lock them away in safe places.
Hide it away.
So
actually, okay. Technically, we're supposed to be like president, vice president thing where we're not supposed to be quarantined in the same area. You got to separate us.
That's right.
Because what if one thing happens to both of us?
So here's what we do. Nikki, I'm sending you to space, and I'm going to the Marianas Trench.
Are you going down to the ocean part?
Yeah. And so then in 3 months, you and I can return.
We'll come back to the show. Why don't we just try our best to stay at home and do that way? Distance that way.
We'll be ready to lead these people into a new era.
No, I don't think that's practical for everybody.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about everybody.
Well,
We're talking about you.
Yeah, me, I'll be fine at home.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll see. We'll see, Nikki.
That's a no. It's great.
We'll see.
We'll see was always no.
We'll see.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
Okay, let's talk about the most important thing while you're in quarantine.
What do you got?
It's Netflix.
Netflix. Did you spill your coffee?
No.
No.
I just sometimes like to take napkins and wipe the desk and,
Do you want one of the cleaner, the wipes?
No.
So it's not sticky or?
No, I like the smell of spilled coffee over here.
It just spruces up your side of the desk, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the good news is with me and coffee is I don't put anything in my coffee, so.
Actually, that's true. It's not as sticky.
It's really not that big of a deal. Apparently the EU is about to ask a little something of Netflix. They're considering asking Netflix to only stream in standard definition.
For a while, not just Netflix, but other streaming platforms. They say that the combination of all the streaming that is going on in high definition has been taxing, basically, for lack of a better way to say it, the internet.
The internet is bending under the weight of all of us having nothing to do.
So they're saying the unprecedented uses, not just for watching stuff, but I mean, everybody's doing their schooling from home, a lot of their work from home, so we're all online.
That is true, but I'll have to tell you, when you look at the amount of bandwidth that gets used when you're editing a Google Doc.
I know, compared to.
Versus watching a 4K thing on Netflix, and you're doing 4K in the basement, your roommate's upstairs doing 4K in his room.
True.
And then you've got somebody else on the, like, after a while, it's like, okay.
And a lot of people are working while you have something playing.
It's a thing, right? So it's not for sure.
Oh, there's a hashtag, switch to standard. No one used that. We are not supporting that. And I wonder if this is just more in their market area, but we're not doing that.
We're talking about Europe here, but I will have to say, we always run into what's that thing that makes you seem entitled? We might be running up against my entitlement. I'm just like,
this might be it, actually.
No.
We're fine with you telling me to not go in a restaurant. You're fine with you telling me to stay at home.
That's fine.
But now if you're telling me to switch to standard definition while I'm at home, that might be something we're not okay with.
Who do you think you are?
We're staying at home. What else are we supposed to do? And we're paying for it. We're paying the good money.
Here's the beautiful thing, though. A lot of people like to poke the bear because Obadiah likes to buy 4K Blu-rays.
Oh, yeah. You have the discs, you mean?
When they go to standard definition streaming, all of a sudden, it won't seem like I was so stupid, will it? Finally, I'll be vindicated.
Netflix says it adjusts the quality of streams to available network capacity already and uses special delivery networks that keeps the library closer to users as a way, so like it consumes less bandwidth.
So overall, the idea would be like, hey, let's say that you're in California. You're not streaming from Europe. You're streaming from a Netflix hub that is probably located in your home state.
So we're all not streaming one movie from the same source. It's not like that. It's throughout the world.
Yeah, but this hasn't happened yet. But it's the first mention of it.
I just want to let everybody know, let's all be thankful, right? And maybe just turn your TV off if you're doing something else. Unless you don't want to, and then you don't have to. And then you go ahead and stream something.
Nobody's telling anybody what to do. We're just making suggestions.
I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what we don't want. We don't want the internet to break. I'll tell you that right now.
And going back to standard, it's breaking.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Not everybody, not the riot, not many of you, but some people are being forced to work from home or school from home.
Which I tell you,
whatever.
No matter what, even if you're not currently, it's still really good for everybody to know how to do that. Yes. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think it is either. You just kind of get ready. One of the things, though, that is becoming an issue is people are more and more talking about your mental health in that space because you're... Like, guys, we're designed to socialize. Like, we're designed to be out seeing people. Even if you're more of an introvert, you still aren't designed for isolation. And I mean, look at people's accounts. Like, one of the cruelest things that you can do to anyone is to force them to be completely alone. Like, we just start to kind of lose it. Like, our brains are designed for input.
And you maybe never had a problem with it, but that's because you were always around like classmates or coworkers and stuff. And now you're noticing that maybe you really needed that.
So we've talked about some of this, but I have here a group of doctors that have put together a list of things that you should think about doing while you are
quarantined
or, socially isolated or whatever. They say one of the first things that you should do is set up a schedule and follow the schedule.
You're supposed to get up and get dressed and get a shower.
That's what they say right here. Get up as if you were going to go to work or school that day. Take a shower, dress, brush your hair, look as normal as possible because it sends a message to your body and brain like, hey, I'm alive and I'm doing my thing.
Have you seen all the viral videos of people who like trains to work, like take the subway or something, and so they go in their bathroom
dude, and they just
hold the shower curtain bar up on top like they're on the train.
It's so funny, dude.
It's really cute.
They say that if at all possible, to set aside a space that you use specifically for whether you're doing school or work or whatever, and you go to that space, and that space is where you do that, but you don't do it anywhere else.
So not like your bed or in front of the TV on the couch.
Yeah, they say that if you, to not do that. Basically, even if you're like, yeah, but I could do this in bed, just don't. get up. And it's like, if you would do that one day, that would be one thing, but you're potentially doing this for weeks at a time, and you need to build in some routine. The other thing they say is to make sure that you have forced socialization, even if you don't want to. Make phone calls or do video chats, not text messaging. They say actual voices and faces whenever possible, that you interact with people that way.
I've seen people, like, you're not supposed to like go over, but I've seen a lot of people in my neighborhood just walk around.
Yes.
Take walks and wave and say hi, and you're at least seeing some people.
I've been doing that. I mean, until that, if we get to what do they call it, the shelter in place order, where you're not supposed to actually leave your physical domicile, that's what I've been doing, is going for walks. I mean, of course, Nikki and I are out and about in general, but like just getting outside and getting some kind of exercise. That is, of course, the other thing that's in this list, is to make sure that you're getting exercise. And there's tons of options. Like, just hit YouTube. I saw where Planet Fitness is offering free workouts via, I don't know if it's their app or you just can go online, but that's for everybody. It's not just if you're a member. And there are lots of services out there
that
like
are now free
that,
for a few months,
that are offering that to help you get in shape. Or I guess a better way to say is to stay in shape. And the other thing to remember, is my last thing I'll say, is that taking care of your mental health, if you're one of the normies, it probably doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. But as somebody who struggles with mental health, I will tell you that if you get into a position where your mental health begins to be compromised, it will take you a while to notice it. You're not going to notice it right away. You'll think it's this or that or the other, but all of a sudden you're going to find yourself in a funk and not really know why. If you take the right steps, you really can keep a lot of that stuff at bay, but it requires effort. Like, you're going to have to put some work in. But again, I will tell you, it's worth the work, because if you do that, you'll be able to handle life in general a whole lot better than if you hadn't.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Come here, let mommy feel you.